Need tips for using your Amazon Alexa? Join Lucy on All About Lady A on the second Thursday of the month for simple tricks to get the most out of your A-Lady device. Listen on the Unmute Presents podcast feed. See you there. Oh yeah, did I mention? You can also check out unmute.show for all past episodes and to get more information about what we've got going on. Value out of the Unmute Presents podcast content, please don't hesitate to go to your favorite podcast app and leave us a review or comment. Your feedback is what improves the experience for all listeners. Today I'm going to walk you through the process of configuring VoiceOver for preferences to be used on a portable device. Now, the portable device that I'm using is kind of extreme. I think it's 4 terabyte. Yeah, it's a 4 terabyte external hard drive, but this is just for demonstration purposes. You definitely don't need something that big. You actually can put your portable preferences on a 2 gigabyte thumb drive if you'd like and take them with you. That's the advantage to this. When I turn VoiceOver on, it doesn't do anything different. It just says VoiceOver on. But if I press VO F8,
opening VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility, window, utility categories, table, general, selected, has keyboard focus.
And select the general category, you'll see an option in this section. Now, why might you want to do this? Let's say, like myself, you've gone through and spent the time to configure your numpad commander, your trackpad, well, I don't have a trackpad, but your trackpad commander and your keyboard commander, and you've configured the verbosity and made all these configurations to your VoiceOver. And then you use a spouse's Mac, or then you use someone else's Mac, and you're like, why is this doing this way? Well, portable preferences is the answer. With portable preferences, when you turn VoiceOver on, it will ask you, do you want to use the portable preferences on, and then insert the name of the drive that's connected. VoiceOver is smart enough to realize that there is portable preferences on the root directory of the drive that you've connected. So, for example, if I jump over to Finder,
external SSD window, external,
and I'm on my external SSD, and I tap the letter V,
external parallels, folder, Slack, application.
It actually takes me to Slack, which doesn't make any sense, but that is showing you that there's nothing in here. So if I Command Tab back over to
VoiceOver utility, window, utility categories, table, general,
and then I VO right arrow, or in my case, use numpad 6. We're going to locate
portable preferences off image.
And that says portable preferences off. Let's press VO right arrow.
Setup button. Set up portable preferences.
And we're going to choose the Setup Portable Preferences option. Press VO space.
In dialog volumes table, select an external drive.
So now this is telling you select an external drive. So I'm going to tap the letter X.
External SSD.
And then press VO end.
OK, default button.
And we'll press VO space.
Stop button. Closing dialog stop button.
Now it says stop. And it says set up portable preferences. If we press VO right arrow,
keeping your VoiceOver preferences up to date on the drive, external SSD.
And we're going to now go back over to
keeping your voice
VO left.
Stop button. Portable preferences on.
Portable preferences is on. Now, anytime you make a change to your VoiceOver preferences, those changes will be reflected on the portable preferences file that's now been stored on the root directory of your external drive. Let's take a look at that. Command Q.
Finder, external SSD window, Slack, application.
And then if I press V now,
VoiceOver, folder.
There's now a VoiceOver folder. We can go in there.
VoiceOver 4.portable group, 1 of 1.
And there's VoiceOver for portable. Now you might be saying, Michael, this is good, but I just need a backup of my VoiceOver preferences. So when I get a new Mac, or if I reset my Mac, then all I have to do is import it. And that's great. That works. Let me show you how to do that with VOF8.
VoiceOver utility, window, utility categories, table.
And then we'll go up to the file menu.
Menu bar, Apple. VoiceOver file.
And we'll go down.
File, menu, import preferences, ellipsis, export preferences, ellipsis, Command Shift E.
So you can use Command Shift E to export your preferences. You can use Command Shift I to import your preferences. So VoiceOver always works the way you expect it to. That's been a quick Teach You Something on Sunday episode from the Unmute team. Hope you found this to be useful. If you have, please don't hesitate to share with a friend or someone you don't necessarily like. to show them how easy it is to run VoiceOver from a portable drive. So first of all, yes, this was content that I recorded last year, but I wanted to retouch on it for a couple of reasons. Number one, the import-export feature works great. I'm not a big fan of the new commander screen in VoiceOver on Sequoia. However, when I imported my settings, my numpad commander started working again, right? I am super excited about that. I think, yep, there it is. There's my actions button and everything. And number two, the portable preferences. Let's talk about that little elephant in the room. Possibly an elephant. I'm curious what works for you. So here's what I tested. Number one, I set my VoiceOver voice to read eloquent. I also changed my VoiceOver modifier keys from caps lock to control option, and then plugged in a portable drive and went through the process of setting up portable preferences on that external drive. This means that my voice should have switched to read, and that was the primary setting that I changed. I also changed the VoiceOver modifier keys from caps lock to control option. I then turned VoiceOver off and then turned VoiceOver on, and a dialog popped up asking if I'd like to use the portable preferences on the external drive. When I was presented with the dialog, I chose yes, so I assumed that the settings that my VoiceOver was set to were the settings that were written to the external drive. Then I ejected the drive and turned VoiceOver off, turning VoiceOver back on, and the last settings that were on the external drive were the same settings. So I'm not sure if this is the intended behavior, but this has been my experience. If nothing else, take your VoiceOver settings and make an export of them, because importing does still appear to work. Apple, if you're listening to this, I'd really appreciate an export VoiceOver settings on iOS or iPadOS.
For various reasons, I have wanted to send someone a file on Dropbox or Google Drive, but I wanted the file to download automatically. I'm a trusted source, and I know they know that, and I tell them ahead of time I'm going to send them a file. But how do I do that in a really cool and easy way? So I have a couple of really short tips for you today, and they're kind of geeky and technical, so we'll put the link or directions to one of these tips in the show notes on the website. So the first thing is, I wanted to send somebody this file on Dropbox, but I wanted it to download automatically. And somewhere, I can't remember where, someone told me I could substitute the 0 on the end of the Dropbox file link with a 1. And that's all you need to do. So the file ends with a 0, which makes sense to me. It's kind of like a no in computer language, or off, and then 1 is on. And so if the file name now ends with the number 1, then the file will immediately and automatically download. And it doesn't take you to Dropbox, which that was some of my problem, is I didn't want people to be taken to Dropbox if they didn't have it already installed. I just wanted them to have the file. So another situation is I really wanted to send someone a Google Drive file, but I didn't want the same thing to happen. I just wanted them to have the file. And so after you upload something to the Google Drive, you would give them the appropriate permissions. Anyone with a link can view. And then there's a little set of directions. You need to copy a little bit of code and insert it into this particular URL. And then it will make the Google Drive file downloadable. There is a website and a service called Paperform, and they have a blog. And so the Google Drive auto link, auto generator is a little blog entry that they have. And so I'm going to paste the directions for doing this little process in case you would like to send somebody a link to automatically download a Google Drive file. They give clear directions, and you just hit submit, and then the link is generated for you if you create it with their little generator link. That's if you don't want to do all the little cut and paste yourself. So here's to auto downloads.
I got to jump in here real quick with a tip. And if you are on the Mac, go into Safari with Command comma, and then under the general preferences, there is an option that says open save files after download. By default, for some bizarre reason, Apple still has this checked. So you'll want to uncheck this. So that way the files don't automatically open. You can also press VO right arrow in here. Save files include movies, pictures, sounds, text documents, and archives. So that's why if you download a zip file, it automatically opens for you.
There are easier ways to make phone calls with your voice. The first thing you could do is take people's phone numbers and save them into your contacts. When you do that, you can attach a name to it, and then you could say the person's name. So, for example, let's say I put Michael Babcock in the address book with his phone number attached, then I can invoke Siri and say, call Michael Babcock. Or if you would like to email or text, you can do that as well. If you don't know the person, but know the phone number, or you don't have the person's information saved in your contact, you could also invoke Siri and just say, call 123-456-789, and it will then call that phone number that you say, and you can make the call that way. And then later you can go back and you can save that in your contacts with either a name or a company attached to it to make that easier for you in the future. You could also invoke Siri and look for a local business that you're looking for. For example, let's say you're looking for coffee. You find a local coffee shop that's close by that you would like to call. Once Siri gives you that information, it will ask you, would you like to call this location? You say yes, and then it will call for you. And these are some ways you can use your voice to make phone calls.
Thanks to Andre Louis and his shorts collection, onj.me/shorts for the music used today.